This one was messaged to me, this particular story. It says, Kaylani, my mom and dad bicker and argue a lot about responsibilities around the house. My older siblings who are married do as well. What could they do? What could they do that would help them argue less? And is there anything I can do to make sure I don't have this problem when I get married someday? This was from Denise. Okay. Yeah. This is hard. I really resonate with Denise, actually. I mean, I've mentioned before, I was the child while my parents had been married multiple times to other people. That sounds like they're like 8 marriages. Like my mom has been married twice and divorced twice. My dad has been married 3 times and divorced twice. But for one person, by the time you hit 15, that's a fair bit of divorce that you've been exposed to. And I had a really big fear about relationships being like looking at like my examples that I'd seen. I think what I'd like Denise to know is that just because those are the examples that she grew up with and saw, that does not mean that that is the only way that a relationship is or can be. In fact, it makes a lot of sense in a family system that a particular type of dysfunction is kind of like bred into the fabric of it, and you might notice that dynamic reappear with siblings like they had mentioned or other family members, because it's kind of normalized within that system that like it's okay to be doing this or etc. So if you fall into a relationship that's unhealthy with someone and those behaviors seem normal, they're not going to look like red flags to change. So that's part of it that would be insightful for her to know. And then I think if I would love, this might be something I do down the road, but I think for single people, there isn't a lot of knowledge into what makes a happy, healthy relationship. We have those conversations afterwards when people are in a relationship. How can you improve your relationship? Mm-hmm. But for someone who is maybe in Denise's position, like, how can you protect yourself from falling into an unhealthy pattern that's been shown to you? I would say, like, I love that you're tuning into the show and trying to be curious and listening and absorbing more information about healthy communication and about healthy relationships. Keep being curious about that, because there are healthier ways to interact. And it would be a disservice, Denise. It would be a disservice to you if you believed that it wasn't possible based on your few examples from your family and all of the examples of like romantic love and romantic relationships.
Yeah.
There's a large percentage that are very happy and healthy, and it's possible.
Well, and I love that Denise, can see that like that's not the way that it should be, and that even though that's all she's known, it's like it's almost like an act of faith. Mm-hmm. Because, and it's, I would say, like, kudos, like lean into your vision of what you want in a future relationship, but then, like, obviously we want to help equip you with what that looks like. And I really think that our episode of Love Maps, we really started to kind of circle around and identify what a healthy relationship should look like with curious culture and nearness and best friendness. Those are my 3 things that I want in a relationship. So really learn that and be stubborn. Mm-hmm. Be really stubborn with those things. And
I just had another element too, like in terms of like self-esteem for Denise. I wouldn't want her to think as that like you deserve to have someone who treats you better than the examples that you've seen. So like if that feels scary or vulnerable for her to believe that things could be better, because sometimes that's it. It feels exposing to think that they could be better. What is it about me that could deserve that when these people around me don't have it? That is an intrinsic thing that everyone deserves, to have someone in their life that values them. But that deserving doesn't mean you instantly get it. You have to bring yourself to a point of being ready for it, to accept it, to cultivate it, to give it. So it's not a, when does my Prince Charming fall into my lap? It's when am I ready to improve, learn, level up to the point where I know what I deserve. I have healthy boundaries. I'm humble. I'm accountable. I'm ready for someone, a quality person, as quality as me, to enter my life. And for Denise, that might be the right mindset versus one of being fearful of falling into unhealthy patterns she's seen.
Yeah.
Thanks for writing in, Denise. Please keep giving us your thoughts and any advice that you're needing. You can write into our podcast. We have a link in the description.